Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I greet you in the language of peace and of paradise, in the language of our mothers and forefathers, with the greeting of Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam, sir.
Back in the house, Islamic Action TV, Gorilla Minded Productions. Recently, in the last, say, about 10 days, we've had a visitor from abroad, from the African American community, one of the lectures in Egyptology. Some hail him as a new messiah of Commission science and the mystery school. Others denote him as the WWF of the conscious community, Mr. Slara and Suit and Seti. What I noticed from checking out how he was received in England is that he was getting mad love, and well-attended lectures, well-attended forums, meet and greet in bookshops and different restaurants and things of this nature. So it shows that there's a thirst out there for information from our people, and like this desire for African consciousness, black unity, and the like. What I don't understand, because I guess listening from his material that he's published from time to time, and from other so-called Garveyites, Pan-Afrikanists, and people in Afrocentric circles, is his antithesis towards Muslims of the African diaspora. And the question I'm asking is: are we welcome? Are we able to attend functions of this nature? And are we welcome in the dialogue of how we move forward as a people, or are we inherently excluded? Because I remember from in the 90s, and our sojourn in the 90s in the African conscious community in the UK, we would attend meetings as Islamic Action or as Muslims in general, and find that there was this hostile atmosphere and this you'd go up on a stage and make a presentation, and somebody would straight away come back and talk about the Arabs enslaved Africans when it was never part of the forum. It might be that deaths in custody, but somehow the Arabs was involved in the deaths in custody, or the discussion would be about the failing schooling system for black children, and the black single parent mother that's left and abandoned, but still somehow they would weave into the dialogue, and the Arab them, the slave way, the Arab them, and all that stuff. And I'm not saying that there isn't a element of history which teaches that Persians, Macedonians, these different Aryanized peoples came in and into the Muslim world, and he kind of took over the Muslim world. Took over the Muslim world, and to a large degree there was an aspect of slavery that took place in terms of Africans being enslaved, but in no way, shape, form, or fashion is there ever been any conclusive proof that Islam is a slave religion, or Islam endorsed some of these behaviors, or things like castrating people and the eunuchs and all the type of thing. So we're trying to get past that and come with solutions, and come with a dialogue, and come with a unity, even if it's a trade unit. Even the West even had a war. You had a World War I and a World War II, and out of that devastation, they said, we can't make this happen again, so we're going to sign a trade agreement. We're going to create something called a common market. Out of the common market, we're going to create a European Union. All right, obviously Brexit's going through its troubles, right? I mean, the Europeans going through its troubles with Brexit, but there's like a coming together of power blocks. Not we like you, not holding buttercups and saying, do you like butter and I like butter, but saying as men, as mature men and women, and as adults, they were trying to carve out a direction for our people that will be more prosperous and peaceful, as opposed to us going backward and forward at each other. That's what the Europeans did. So I'm saying, can we have our union with these people as Muslims, and we retain our Islamic identity, and you continue to worship the great Kali if that's what you're into, or at the shrine of the Black Mother, or whatever pushes your boat. You understand? We say none to any idols or anything physical. We don't worship physicality. Do you know, when it comes in the form of a man incarnate or a woman incarnate or a bare-breasted goddess or anything of that nature. As Muslims, we're just not down with that. As I think Khalid Muhammad would say, we ain't into that. However, the question still stands. But brother, I know that you'd formulated a question to ask me about this antithesis, this angst and this hostility about Muslims, always in the background, always a theme in much of the Pan-Africanist dialogue and meetings, and it's not about changing name to any Arab name man or anything of that nature. There's always that little snide, slimy remark after people have come. J.A. Rogers, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima have come and proved the Prophet's ancestry, the Prophet's heritage, the Jurum tribe, these dark-skinned people, on so much information about the role of many of the companions that were black, not just Bilal, but Bilal is a giant. You know, too many to mention. The Imams of Ahlul Bayt, the proof from the Prophet's descendants about their Ethiopian, their African ancestors, but still, these Pan-Africanists come with these one-dimensional. I mean, Wesley Muhammad put it on them. He put it on Ray Hagins. He put it on what's the guy's name? The one that's in prison now. Anyway, his name ain't important, but 2 lectures he put that down. You know,
that's right. Speak, black man.
Anyway, what's good? That's what I'm gonna say. What's good? We're going back over this old stuff, but what's good?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I seek refuge in Allah from the shaitan. I bear witness that there is no other creator or deity other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam of Arabia 1400 years ago is the last and final messenger, and his teachings and his message were protected by his family known as the Ahlul Bayt. Brother, I would like to say that it's very enlightening. Alhamdulillah, mashallah, subhanallah. This is a very apt and a very important and pertinent question to ask. And for me, I think this topic needs much, much more in-depth analysis, which I know you have the capability and the akal, the mind to do. Sure. And I think that not many people can take this on. And I herald you, and I would say that I am very, very impressed by the way you have articulated this situation. I myself, like you, have been in this this path of working with the Pan-Africanists as a Muslim for many years as yourself, and I too have noticed that there is an antagonism, there is an antithesis, there is a malignment of Muslims who are of African descent but embrace al-Islam. Whether I'm going to ask a question, but just my observation is, I feel that the issue is more from them than with us. As you said, we have attended many of their meetings, invited as honoured guests, but yet there's always a snide remark from them before we even get on the podium, setting a mood to be anti-Muslim. Perhaps in my own research, I've looked into the psychological damage that maybe when we were taken by theft from the motherland, maybe those people who weren't in the Islam, which many of us were, maybe there is an anger towards those when brought into the West who of Islamic knowledge, because of the knowledge that we had, the empires we built, the scholarly works that we had, the crafted left in Arabic, like in Timbuktu, in Songhay and Benin. Maybe there was an anger from those who were following other deities, that they saw that we were being used to build these great white man civilization, his streets, his roads, his empire, add to his libraries, and maybe this anger towards the Muslim come from there on a psychological level. That's another way I'm looking at it, because it seems to be a consistent theme that they hate Muslims, not so much Christians, not so much the Hebrews, but it's the Muslim they seem to hate. Even though we know Khalid, we know Muhammad Ali, Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X. We know even we the Kunta Kinte. We know the Mansa Musa. We know the most notables of Islamic sense, Sheikh Anta Diop. But yet there's this hatred. So I believe that the issue is with them. I believe it's a deep psychological scar. But I also believe that it's their shortcoming, and I believe it's also an adoption of Eurocentric values and Eurocentric Occidental Orientalist concepts of Islam, like certain professors, and even from this country, will use the word Negro because he's educated at SOAS. Educated at SOAS. Yeah. So these people also can be seen as agents. But my question would be, if we can work with them, what capacity do you think that we can work with them under? And if we have to actually tackle the issue with people, these Pan-Africanists, how do you think we should go about tackling it? In what way?
I think that we can create a better atmosphere. I think the possibility is to create a better atmosphere so that there's an atmosphere of less hostility. There is enough of our young people in the black community, whatever their spiritual path is, which they are anti-black. And if we can both agree, and as Muslims of black consciousness and as Pan-Africanists of whatever deity and whatever spiritual path, that there needs to be an increase in an appreciation of black love, of kugagilia, of self-determination, of economic advancement, of mental health and mental well-being. There's certain key subjects that we can agree around that we need to advance. So if we can etch out some type of pact, some type of treaty, some type of contract where we agree to have a peace treaty and say we can possibly work together in these areas. Many nations now are dealing with things what they call partnership. They're working in an alliance. So we can create some kind of alliance and, you know, deal with today and tomorrow and not just be constrained by our misconceptions of historical events. And I think that can help us go forward. But if the dialogue is always going to start by the contradiction, where are those black Muslims? They don't care about they're sellouts because they don't care about their people. And then when you turn up in your kufi, you just turn up now, yeah. Oh yeah, and it's like a Mancurian candidate or a Pavlovian response is
that's right.
Yeah, and the harab them did enslave them. Like, come on. Think about it. You're inviting somebody, you're questioning them rhetorically, where are they? And then when they turn up, that's all you've got to say to them. Are you surprised that most of the people who are Muslim who ain't even fussed about the black thing? Maybe 50-50. You think you're going to really attract them to be down with the black thing, to be down with the Pan-Afrikanist vision, to be down with the Garveyite vision? Think about it. Be practical, not just emotional. And we hope that we can have that dialogue in the future, an adult dialogue, not a childish dialogue. Islam teaches us as Muslims we can work with people who have different faiths. The Prophet taught us from the Quran, Deenakum waliya deen. To you your way, your spiritual path, to us ours. But don't mean we can't have a contract for peace and advancement of our people, the bigger picture. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there before the blood rushed to me head and we get mad up in the place. So, yeah, I hit that, you know. So, till next time, inshallah. Family, stay safe. Remember to subscribe. And, you know, blessings be with you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa ta'ala wa barakatuh.